I, Xiao Yu, 18 years old, had only just begun chasing my dreams in life when reality slapped me hard across the face. It all starts with the inner world of Kaiji Star. This thing is a metaverse, and its brain-computer interface technology is absurdly advanced. Everyone can connect to it once they come of age, fight monsters, and level up inside, and even bring equipment and abilities back to the real world for trade. To put it plainly, this is the main way our generation makes a living. After all, there are too many overachievers grinding away in reality, so we can only rely on the metaverse to get by. With an excited heart and trembling hands, I lay down in the access pod, and a mechanical female voice sounded in my mind. Welcome, player Xiao Yu, to your first entry into the inner world. Would you like to begin drawing your class? I clasped my hands together and prayed devoutly. Ancestors of the Qiao family, please bless me with a good class. Drawing class. Congratulations, player, you have obtained the Hidden Class Necromancer. I practically sprang out of my chair and nearly tipped over the access pod. A Necromancer. A hidden class. This is a 1 in 10,000 stroke of god-tier luck. The image was already forming in my head. Death, Netherbone dragons, Death God knights, countless top-tier undead creatures pouring out from the gates of hell. I alone would be an army of thousands. I, Xiao Yu, am going to make it big. Then I opened the attribute panel. Name, Xiao Yu class, Necromancer realm. Apprentice, LV1, strength, 10 defense, 6 agility, 9 spirit, 0 intelligence, 0 mana, 10 out of 10 HP, 10 out of 10 EXP, 0 out of 10. My smile froze on my face. Spirit 0, intelligence 0. I looked at it 3 times over to make sure I wasn't seeing things. The 2 most important attributes for a mage, and both of mine were 0. What does that amount to? It's like training a cockroach to get into Tsinghua or Peking University. Even a stray dog on the roadside would shake its head at that. I slumped into a pancake inside the access pod, utterly devoid of the will to live. That tactless mechanical female voice of the system kept sounding. Would the player like to begin drawing an initial talent? Draw your mom. I cursed weakly. A mage with 0 intelligence. What the hell use would even an S-rank talent be? Drawing talent. A faint blue-white glimmer quietly slipped into my mind. Congratulations, player. You have obtained the talent, a mage's brave heart. Rank, unknown. Reward, 10 free attribute points. Passive effect, when the system detects that the player kills an enemy through close quarters hand-to-hand combat. Free attribute points will be awarded. Active effect, unique. The player may raise other attribute values to match the same value as one chosen attribute. I suddenly sat bolt upright. Free attribute points. Those are precious as hell in the inner world. You either get them by leveling up or by training on your own. Strength requires weightlifting. Spirit requires meditation. Intelligence requires grinding practice questions. And this brave heart lets me farm attribute points for free just by brawling with enemies? Even more outrageous was that active effect. Although it can only be used once, it can pull all my attributes up to the same value. My strength is 10 points. If I use it now, then I'll be a hexagon warrior with 10 points in every stat. 10 points in every stat during the beginner phase. There's never been a freak like that in the entire history of the inner world. But I wasn't satisfied. Since the passive effect wants me to fight in close combat, then strength is king. Without the slightest hesitation, I said to the system, put all 10 free attribute points into strength. Congratulations, player, allocation successful. Strength plus 10. Strength, 20. Mighty and powerful. Looking at that 20 on the panel, a bold plan took shape in my mind. The active effect of Braveheart can only be used once, so what if I don't use it now? What kind of scene would that be if I waited until my strength reached 1,000, 10,000, or even 100,000 before using it? A necromancer with 100,000 in every stat. Just imagining it made my scalp tingle. Enter the inner world. I appeared beneath a magnificent towering structure, the safe town, the newbie village. The area around me was full of players coming and going, bustling like a wet market. The feel of the air, the stone-paved road beneath my feet, the coolness of the wind brushing against my skin, everything felt unbelievably real. I headed straight for the mage area, where a sweet young lady in a Lolita dress received me. Her name was Elaine, an NPC, with a smile so sweet, it was almost cloying. While lamenting that such a beautiful girl wasn't actually real, I collected my starter equipment. A shabby F-rank mage robe, an F-rank beginner's staff, and an F-rank skill book, skeleton summoning. I draped the robe over myself and weighed the staff in my hand. It had a nice heft to it. This stick felt pretty sturdy, and with my 20 points of strength, it should be perfect for cracking people over the head. As for the summoning spell, I ignored it completely. Zero intelligence, summon my ass. Elaine opened a portal of light for me. Your beginner quest is to escape the misty cave. I stepped right in. Elaine seemed to still be saying something about precautions behind me, but I didn't hear a single word. Crack. The moment I entered the cave, I stepped on and shattered a piece of white bone, and that realistic sensation thrilled me beyond words. I kept walking forward, crunching bones underfoot all the way, and soon ran into my first small monster. A skeleton soldier, holding a broken iron sword, with a ghostly blue soul flame flickering in its eye sockets. HP 20, Strength 5, Defense 0, Agility 1. It charged at me, and I grabbed my staff, swung my arm in a full arc, and smashed it solidly into its forehead. Minus 20. Crack, crack, crack. With one blow from the staff, the skull exploded on the spot, and the soul flame went out. I shook the bone dust off my staff and sighed sincerely. Not being able to use magic really makes this a tough battle. The system notifications rang out one after another. Melee kill, reward 1 free attribute point, plus 3 experience. And because it was my first kill in my Inner-World career, I also received an extra reward, an A-rank passive skill. Strength creates miracles. I opened it to take a look, and the effect was just one sentence. Every 1 point of strength is converted into 2 points of attack power. I froze for 2 seconds. In other words, with my 20 points of strength, my attack power was 40. A normal player only has 10 HP at level 1. If I threw one punch, they'd still owe me 3 lives. I kept putting my attribute points into strength and pressed onward. Skeleton soldiers came one after another, and one after another I smashed them to pieces with my staff. By the time I reached the 4th one, I'd leveled up to level 2, and my strength had reached 30 points. 30 points of strength, combined with strength creates miracles, meant 60 attack power. I was starting to feel this dungeon was a little too easy. Then the ground shook. A skeleton captain, twice as tall as an ordinary skeleton soldier, emerged from the darkness, holding a shield in its left hand and a spear in its right, with a full 50 HP and 20 defense. It aimed its spear tip at me and thrust, and without a word I swung my staff and smashed down. It raised its shield to block, and the sound of metal clashing echoed through the cave. A bright red -40 floated up above its head. That shield hadn't blocked a thing. It had 10 HP left. I followed up with another strike, smashing both it and its shield into pieces together. The system notification rewarded 3 attribute points and 10 experience. I wiped the bone fragments off my staff, and with a solemn expression, I sighed. What a powerful opponent. After the skeleton captain died, it turned into a soul core. I reached out and got a bone gauntlet. A D-rank one-time use item. After use, the next attack is guaranteed to crit. I complained aloud about why it wasn't permanent, but my body honestly stuffed it into my storage space anyway. I'd only just put it away when the ground shook again. This time it was a skeleton captain leading 5 skeleton soldiers. I grew serious, because after all, I only had 20 HP. One hit, and I'd be done for. Dying wouldn't just mean experiencing the pain of death. I'd also have to lose my save and start over. Luckily, these skeletons all had only 1 agility, so with my 9 agility keeping them at bay, 10 minutes later they had all turned into a pile of bone fragments on the ground. I leveled up to 3, and my strength reached 46. I'd practically swung my staff hard enough to make it smoke. I'd killed all the skeletons, but the prompt saying the mission was complete still wouldn't appear. I scratched my head in confusion. Could there be a straggler? I lifted my foot and stomped on the bones on the ground again. A hoarse, eerie voice suddenly rang out, like fingernails scraping a blackboard, making my skin crawl all over. You've gone too far bullying skeletons. The bones all over the cave began to gather. Countless bone fragments flew in one direction, assembling into a gigantic, terrifying monster. Soul fire ignited in its hollow eye sockets, staring at me fixedly. Normal boss, Skeleton King, injured state. Level 10, HP 400, Strength 45, Defense 60, Agility 1, Skills Bone Spike, and Bone Explosion. My teeth ached just looking at it. Why the hell is there a boss in a newbie quest? Is this damn thing meant to send beginners to their deaths? And this is its injured state. How strong would it be if it weren't injured? The Skeleton King's enormous bony palm slammed down at me, and I twisted away to dodge it. Its rage had already reached the limit. This bastard had been stepping on my bones all the way here for fun, grounding them into bone powder and all. Otherwise, would I, the mighty Skeleton King, really be appearing in an injured state? I swung my staff and smashed it onto the top of its foot, and a pitiful -32 floated up. I did the math. It would take more than a dozen hits for me to kill it, but it only needed to hit me once, and I'd be finished. WDNMD. I turned and ran. The Skeleton King refused to let up. It tore off a section of bone from its own body and hurled it over, and the explosions from Bone Explosion forced me to retreat again and again. It pissed me off, so I gripped the end of my staff and used it like a steel pipe, leaping high and smashing it into its knee. Another -32. The Skeleton King swatted at me like mad, but its agility was only 1, so it simply couldn't hit me. Its skull was probably full of question marks. I, the mighty Skeleton King, had my defense broken by a newbie? I ran circles around its feet like crazy, dodging and hammering at it at the same time. -32-32-32, and a few minutes later its HP bar had dropped by half. The Skeleton King was utterly enraged. It let out a long howl, spread both hands, and countless sharp bone spikes shot toward me like lightning. Too fast, I couldn't dodge them at all. I desperately threw myself to the side and crashed face first into the dirt, but one bone spike still stabbed into my lower abdomen. The heartrending pain left me with only 5 HP in an instant. Only a pool of blood remained on the ground, and the Skeleton King was wondering where I had gone. The next second, I appeared behind it, my left hand clutching the wound while my right wore the skeleton gauntlet as I leaped high into the air. Die. A 100% critical hit, stacked with raw, overwhelming force. This punch had an attack power of 184. Even after subtracting the Skeleton King's 60 defense, it still produced a glaring blood-red -132. The Skeleton King's HP instantly bottomed out, and I followed up with a basic attack. That overbearing boss turned into a pile of shattered bones just like that. Killing the Skeleton King rewarded me with 10 attribute points, and the experience shot me straight to level 5. Then I got another 10 attribute points. A total of 20 points all went into strength, sending it soaring to 76. I reached into the Skeleton King's soul core and felt around. Aside from some potion supplies, I pulled out a nice round ring. Skeleton King's Ring, C rank. The effect can be triggered once every 24 hours, increasing the damage of the first basic attack by 50%. Although it's not as brutal as the permanent skeleton gauntlets, its advantage is that it can be used continuously. If a C-rank piece of equipment were taken to the real world and sold, it would fetch at least hundreds of thousands. Huge profit. I didn't encounter any more skeletons on the way afterward. When I saw that light door again, I truly felt like I had survived a disaster. Taking a deep breath, I stepped out. The moment I walked through the light door, all players in the inner world received a world announcement at the same time. Congratulations to the mage player Xiao Yu for achieving the first kill of the Misty Cave boss Skeleton King. Reward: 10 free attribute points. We hope other players will keep up the good work as well. The whole server exploded. Misty Cave? Wasn't that a newbie quest? Someone killed the boss as soon as they entered the inner world? Wasn't that quest supposed to be completed just by escaping? Why did this Xiao Yu go farm the boss? More importantly, he was only at the apprentice realm and still soloed the boss. Was this kid from Reckless Village in his previous life, or something? Did brute force really work miracles? Listening to these discussions, I vaguely felt that something was off. First kill? No one had killed the Skeleton King before me. Then how had they cleared the quest? I exited the inner world and returned to reality, only to find a fat face shoved right in front of me. It was my only best friend, Yang Xiangdi. Xiao Yu, why did it take you so long to do a newbie quest? We all came out half an hour ago. You're so lame. Yang Xiangdi was so excited that the fat all over his body was jiggling. I drew a mage, Avada Kedavra. What about you? What about you? Looking at how animated he was, then thinking about my necromancer with 0 intelligence and 0 spirit, I really felt like the two of us hadn't gone to the same inner world. But judging from what he meant, no one had noticed that world announcement, and I secretly breathed a sigh of relief. On the podium, the homeroom teacher, Shui Jinlong, began having everyone introduce themselves one by one. Class monitor Ma Fei stood up with an arrogant look on his face. My class is Sword Cultivator, talent rank B. The whole class stirred. Sword Cultivator, one of the coolest and strongest classes in the inner world. What boy hasn't dreamed of wearing white robes, carrying a sword and a jug of wine, and living out grudges and vendettas with carefree abandon? Enjoying everyone's flattery, Ma Fei said confidently, "Don't worry, classmates, I'll protect everyone." It was my turn. Everyone looked at me, and several girls' eyes even turned into hearts. With my looks, I really do attract envy easily. Ma Fei let out a disdainful snort, probably thinking I was all style and no substance. Under everyone's gaze, I stood up and said flatly, "My class is Necromancer, talent." I paused for a moment, remembering the word unknown on the status panel and honestly not knowing how to say it. The entire classroom fell deathly silent. Everyone's eyes widened as they stared blankly at Xiao Yu, who stood there looking calm and composed. Holy shit. At last, one classmate reacted and shouted in shock. A necromancer is a hidden class. With a wave of the hand, they can summon countless undead creatures. Why couldn't I draw a class like that? In your dreams, if anyone's drawing, it'd be you having a fit. A hidden class, no less. Necromancer. That's way too terrifying. I remember there was a really powerful necromancer in the inner world before who, by his own power alone, directly wiped out an entire guild. The classroom instantly erupted because of Xiao Yu's class. Class monitor Ma Fei clenched his fists and looked at Xiao Yu with some jealousy, though there was also a trace of disdain in his eyes. So what if it's a hidden class? So what if mages are strong? If sword cultivators or assassins get close to them, it's still death. Mages are famous for being glass cannons, and what they fear most is being assassinated at close range. Necromancers are even more fragile among fragile classes. Because they are in constant contact with undead creatures, necromancers' bodies are even weaker than those of ordinary people. Summoning spells take an extremely long time to cast. It can be said that without teammates protecting them, brutal classes like assassins, sword cultivators, and blade cultivators are basically the natural nemesis of necromancers. Of course, if a necromancer is given enough time to summon undead creatures, then even a vast army would be no match for a necromancer. As the class monitor, Ma Fei was naturally very diligent in learning about the inner world, so he understood the strengths and weaknesses of necromancers all too well. So what if it's a hidden class? Unless Xiao Yu has enough time to summon undead creatures in a one-on-one duel, I, a sword cultivator, can absolutely beat your necromancer senseless. In the inner world, it often happens that an extremely powerful mage gets killed by a minor assassin because they were careless, and the reason is that mages themselves are just too fragile. And he keenly noticed that. Xiao Yu hadn't mentioned his talent rank at all. Humph, it must be because his talent is too low and he's too embarrassed to say it. He, Ma Fei, would definitely prove that he was better than Xiao Yu. It is our bounden duty to restore the glory of the class monitor. Xiao Yu waved his hand, said nothing, and calmly sat back down in his seat. It wasn't that he didn't want to show off. Mainly, he didn't dare. After all, he couldn't cast a single spell and was only a little stronger than the average person. Once he entered the novice trial, it wasn't even certain whether he could protect himself. So how would he dare draw attention to himself? What if another skeleton king popped out in the novice trial? Little did he know that his behavior only made him seem even more profound and unfathomable in the eyes of his classmates. Wow. Look, everyone. Classmate Xiao Yu is neither arrogant nor impetuous. Is this the bearing of a genius? So cool. He has a hidden class and is still so low-key. I am far inferior to classmate Xiao Yu. This is the difference between geniuses and ordinary people like us, isn't it? Even his temperament is so steady. If I got a hidden class, I definitely wouldn't be able to stay as calm as Xiao Yu. Listening to his classmates' discussion, Xiao Yu appeared calm on the surface, but inside he was panicking like crazy. What if his classmates found out later that he couldn't summon even a single undead creature? Waiting online, very urgent. At this moment, Xue Jinlong on the podium spoke up, the excitement in his eyes impossible to hide. Excellent. Wonderful. Xiao Yu, your teacher is proud of you. Compared to Xiao Yu's hidden class, the self-introductions of the students after him all seemed somewhat ordinary. As everyone continued introducing themselves, Yang Xiangdi couldn't help saying to Xiao Yu, you're really like a little cow doing a handstand. Awesome as hell. Why couldn't I get Necromancer? But luckily, my spirit and intelligence are 7 and 8 respectively. This talent is pretty decent, right? Thinking of his own talents, both 0, Xiao Yu resisted the urge to punch Yang Xiangdi in his chubby face and squeezed out 6 words through gritted teeth. It's fine. Diligence can make up for lack of talent. No, I still need to leave time to sleep well. Time is like pee in a sponge. You can squeeze it out, but there's no need. Xiao Yu took a deep breath and glanced at Yang Xiangdi. No, time is like the water in your brain. There's a lot of it, but it can't be squeezed out. After everyone had finished introducing themselves, Xue Jinlong said loudly, students, relax and don't be nervous. Isn't the novice trial easy as long as you have hands? Just remember to stay united and support each other, and strive for the whole class to pass the novice trial together tomorrow. All right, That's it for today's class. Go home and prepare on your own. Xiao Yu, come with me for a moment. Xue Jinlong hurried out of the classroom. And Xiao Yu also walked out under the envious gazes of his classmates. Of course, quite a few students had hidden disdain in their eyes, because a fragile class like Necromancer, once separated from the team, is just free kills. How could they be as desirable as warrior and assassin classes like theirs? One person, one blade, roaming the Jianghu with abandon. One person, one sword, upholding justice and chivalry. This is what a real man should do. What kind of skill is there in hiding in the back and summoning undead? Xiao Yu, you've made it. You've finally pulled through. A hidden class. Once you complete the novice trial, you'll definitely be able to enter one of the top universities in the country and continue studying all kinds of combat techniques in the mage department. In the office, Xue Jinlong's face was full of excitement, as if he were the one who had awakened a hidden class. Xiao Yu, is there any university you want to go to? Xiao Yu raised his head and pondered for a moment before saying, Kyoto University. Xue Jinlong was not the least bit surprised. Is it because of your parents? Xiao Yu nodded. When he was little, he wasn't an orphan yet. He had parents. In Xiao Yu's memory, his parents in this world were very kind and gentle people. But when he was 6, his parents said they were going to Kyoto, and then they suddenly vanished under mysterious circumstances, and he was naturally sent to the orphanage. Xiao Yu desperately wanted to know where exactly his parents had gone. All right, I'll do my best to help you work things out with Kyoto University regarding tuition and living expenses. Just focus on preparing for the novice trial. Xue Jinlong naturally knew about Xiao Yu's situation, and he did his best to help wherever he could. Thank you, Teacher Xue. Xiao Yu bowed to Xue Jinlong. He wasn't good with pretty words, so this was the only way he could express his gratitude. Of course. After all, I'm your homeroom teacher. By the way, what rank is your talent? Xue Jinlong picked up his cup and took a sip of water as he asked. Rank, unknown. Unknown, unknown. That's pretty good. What? Xue Jinlong's eyes widened, and he almost sprayed out the water he had just drunk. He had been a teacher for 20 years and had never seen anyone whose talent rank was unknown. He hurriedly pressed on. Then does this talent provide any boost to your necromancy? It seems no. Xiao Yu thought for a moment. Being made to fight in close combat really didn't provide any boost to necromancy. Sigh. How did a perfectly good hidden class end up with an unknown talent rank, and one that doesn't even enhance the abilities of the class itself? Xue Jinlong felt a headache coming on. With a hidden class like Xiao Yu's, as long as his talent was D rank or above, he would be an undisputed genius. If he beat up Kyoto University's admissions teacher during the interview, the teacher would still have to praise Xiao Yu for excelling in both academics and martial ability. But an unknown talent rank. It's fine. Go back and prepare for tomorrow's novice trial first. Leave this matter to me. All right. Thank you, teacher. After thanking him, Xiao Yu left the school. His home was very close to the school. 5 minutes later, Xiao Yu pushed open the door and loudly said, I'm back. However, no one responded to Xiao Yu. He was the only person in the enormous house. It felt empty, and there wasn't even much furniture. This was the house his parents had left him. After his parents disappeared, Xiao Yu would call out, I'm back, every time he came home. In his memory, his father and mother would say that every time they came home. Xiao Yu skillfully turned on the gas stove, fry an egg, add water, put in the noodle cake, add chicken bouillon, add salt. A steaming bowl of egg noodles was soon ready. After eating, washing the dishes, and taking a shower, he went to bed. Xiao Yu had lived this kind of life alone for 12 years. Early the next morning. Today is another beautiful day. Xiao Yu stretched lazily, feeling refreshed. He had always been an optimistic person. Today was the day of the novice trial, so he absolutely couldn't be late. After washing up, Xiao Yu went out to buy a basket of soup dumplings and headed straight for school. By this time, quite a few people in the class were already discussing the novice trial. After all, the freshman trial was no different from the college entrance examination and could almost determine a person's future. Once you fail the novice trial, then you're destined to have nothing to do with the inner world for the rest of your life and can only obediently be a corporate drone. Hey, Xiao Yu, good morning. As soon as Xiao Yu walked into the classroom, someone greeted him. After all, being handsome and a necromancer, Xiao Yu was a hot commodity in many people's eyes. Xiao Yu looked up and saw that it was Zhuai Yu, the class beauty from their class. Her face was quite delicate, but sadly her chest was too flat. Good morning. After returning the greeting, Xiao Yu went back to his seat and calmly ate his soup dumplings. From time to time, some girls chatting would cast their eyes toward Xiao Yu, making him feel a bit uncomfortable. After returning from the inner world, his presence had suddenly become much stronger. One after another, the students arrived at the classroom, and Xue Jinlong soon stepped onto the podium as well. What was different from usual was that today Xue Jinlong had cast aside his usual kindness, his expression becoming incomparably stern. For today's novice trial, I only have one requirement. If you're not confident, you must remember to immediately withdraw from the inner world. I'd rather you fail the trial than die in the inner world. Although you can be revived, that real sensation of death may deceive your brain into making you think you really died. If that happens, then even if you're revived, you'll become a vegetable. The originally noisy classroom instantly fell silent. Generally speaking, the danger level of novice instances isn't high and usually won't cause player deaths. But there are always exceptions. There was once a major accident. A novice instance wiped out an entire class of 50 people, and in the sense that neither their living bodies nor their corpses were ever found. To this day, no one knows what kind of terrifying instance that was. They only know the instance was called Nightmare Village. You all don't need to be so heavy-hearted, either. As long as you withdraw from the inner world in time, there won't be any danger. Seeing everyone's grave expressions, Xue Jinlong hurriedly tried to comfort them. Xue Jinlong placed a stopwatch on the podium, and everyone knew clearly that when this stopwatch hit zero, it would be when they entered the inner world. Everyone, make your own preparations. The novice trial will begin in half an hour. The classmates all started looking for their usual friends to discuss tactics. Yang Xiangdi turned his head and asked Xiao Yu, "Xiao Yu, what are the two of us going to do? We don't really have any friends normally, and we're both mages, so who are we supposed to team up with? We'll deal with whatever comes, so why are you panicking?" Xiao Yu shrugged indifferently. His strength attribute was already close to breaking 100. As long as he didn't run into some especially outrageous novice trial, he could basically steamroll through it. "All right, then I'll be clinging tightly to you. Xiao Yu, Xiangdi, want to team up together?" Zui Yu walked over again, revealing a sweet smile. The surrounding classmates immediately showed envious looks. Teaming up with the class beauty was something so many people dreamed of. Yang Xiangdi hurriedly leaned close to Xiao Yu's ear. "Xiao Yu, this works. Not only is this girl pretty, her class is also a tank, so she can help us soak damage." Xiao Yu rolled his eyes and said in a low voice, "I think you're just lusting after her body. You're like an old granny leaning against the wall drinking porridge, shameless and dirty." "Holy crap. Don't talk nonsense. I don't like flat chests. Her chest isn't even bigger than mine." After saying that, Yang Xiangdi even thrust out his own hefty chest. Xiao Yu glanced from side to side. Zuiyu really did seem not to be as big as Yang Xiangdi. Zuiyu tilted her head somewhat puzzled. She only saw the two of them looking animated and excited, but didn't hear what they were saying. "Xiao Yu, Xiangdi, have you two thought it over? Form a team? Team up." Xiao Yu and Yang Xiangdi answered in unison. "All right, see you in the inner world." Zuiyu waved gracefully and returned to her seat. If Zuiyu knew that Xiao Yu and the other guy had just been discussing whether she or Yang Xiangdi had the bigger breasts, who knows if she'd be so furious that she'd kill these two teammates first. As time passed second by second, the stopwatch slowly ticked down to zero, and Xue Jinlong reminded them again. "Attention, the newbie trial is about to begin. If you encounter danger, withdraw immediately." A mechanical female voice rang out in everyone's minds at the same time. 3, 2, 1. Newbie trial, begin. Accompanied by a burst of spatial distortion, the entire class vanished. Xue Jinlong set out an incense burner and sincerely lit 3 sticks of incense. "Gods above, please protect everyone in Class 4, Grade 4, and bring them back safely. Help them pass the newbie trial smoothly." Amid a dizzying whirl, the 44 students of Class 4, Grade 4 appeared at the entrance of a village. Xiao Yu looked up and saw that the whole village was arranged in the shape of a well, with green mountains, clear waters, and beautiful scenery, a truly blessed place of geomancy. It even had a bit of the feel of the peach blossom spring. "Nice. Looks like there shouldn't be much danger." Xiao Yu nodded in satisfaction. "Xiao Yu, just you wait, I'll definitely defeat you." Ma Fei walked over, looking at Xiao Yu with a Chinibyu expression, his eyes blazing with intense fighting spirit. "I'll prove that only I, Ma Fei, am the most suitable to be this class's leader. I'm the strongest man in Class 4, Grade 4. Then go ahead." Xiao Yu scratched his head in confusion. What was up with Ma Fei? He hadn't provoked him either. "Humph, just wait and see." Ma Fei puffed out his chest, the arrogance on his face growing even stronger. Just as the two were confronting each other, a high-pitched female scream pierced the sky. Xiao Yu turned around and saw it was Zhao Ziyue, the bustiest girl in their class. Zhao Ziyue let out a scream as she stared at the stone tablet by the village entrance in horror, collapsing weakly to the ground. The students followed her gaze and saw 3 large characters written clearly on the stone tablet: Nightmare Village. At that moment, the mechanical female voice sounded again. Welcome to the newbie trial, Nightmare Village. Difficulty, newbie S rank. Trial requirements: 1. Leave alive. 2. Discover the core secret of Nightmare Village. Trial rewards will be determined according to each person's performance. Friendly reminder, please don't run around after dark. Note: the difficulty levels of newbie trials are calculated separately from other dungeons. Newbie S rank is approximately equal to ordinary dungeon E rank. Everyone's faces went pale. This dungeon had once slaughtered 50 people, and to this day, no one has been able to clear it. What a joke! Newbie S rank was the hardest kind of newbie dungeon. Aside from those peerless monsters with maxed out talent, it was simply impossible for anyone else to pass. The reason newbie dungeons had their own separate ranking system was because most newbie dungeons didn't even qualify as F rank among ordinary dungeons. I want to go home. I'm not playing anymore. A pale-faced male student was so frightened that he immediately tried to use his chip to withdraw. But to his horror, he discovered that the chip had actually failed. He couldn't leave the inner world. What's going on? Why can't I get out? That male student was so anxious he was on the verge of tears. His family was rich, and he didn't want to experience what death felt like. Seeing this, the others hurriedly started trying to leave as well, only to discover in despair that everyone was the same. This Nightmare Village instance simply wouldn't let players quit. No wonder that previous class had been completely wiped out. It's over. We're all going to die here. We're all going to die? Zhao Ziyue slumped to the ground and began sobbing. Exactly. The difficulty of this newbie trial is equivalent to an E-rank normal instance. At minimum, you need to be beginner rank to clear it. We're all apprentices, so how could we possibly clear it? A wave of despair settled over everyone's hearts. The levels in the inner world are divided into apprentice, beginner, intermediate, and advanced. Levels 1 to 10 are apprentice, 11 to 20 are beginner, and so on. All of them were newbies, all apprentices. There was simply no way they could clear an instance of this difficulty. Ma Fei realized that this was the moment to establish his authority. Everyone, don't be afraid. I, Ma Fei, will definitely lead you out of Nightmare Village. Please pull yourselves together and trust me. Ma Fei walked to the front of the crowd and raised his arms as he shouted. After saying that, he even cast a provocative glance at Xiao Yu. Xiao Yu frowned slightly and slowly retreated behind his classmates. With the situation still unclear, he wasn't stupid enough to make himself stand out. He couldn't help cursing himself for having such a jinxed mouth. He had just told Yang Xiangdi that as long as they didn't run into a perverted newbie instance, they could steamroll it, and then they ended up running into the most twisted one of all. Anyway, the situation is still unclear. Rather than sit here waiting to die, we might as well uncover the truth of Nightmare Village. Let's go? Even if danger lies ahead, I, Ma Fei, will carve out a bright path for you. Ma Fei strode to the front without hesitation and stepped into Nightmare Village. He had dreamed of being a hero since childhood, and now was the time to make that dream come true. Encouraged by him, everyone finally gathered the courage to follow behind him. Originally, everyone had thought that with a terrifying name like Nightmare Village, the village must be full of horrifying Azura-like monsters. Unexpectedly, the first villager they met was a vigorous old man. Outsiders. Such a pity, being so young. The old man was excited at first, then let out a regretful sigh. Grandpa, what do you mean by that? Ma Fei quickly asked. The old man glanced at him and said slowly, once you cross the stone monument at the village entrance and enter Nightmare Village, you can never get out again. As soon as the old man said this, everyone looked at Ma Fei. After all, it was Ma Fei who had led them in just now. Ma Fei looked a little embarrassed and quickly said, how could it be impossible to get out? Don't worry, everyone, we can definitely get out. I'll go out and show you. Ma Fei ran toward the left side of the group, and the physical fitness of a sword cultivator made him run extremely fast. Immediately afterward, a terrifying scene unfolded. Ma Fei actually appeared from the group's right side. Ma Fei himself also looked somewhat pale. He knew very well that he had clearly been running straight in one direction the whole time. So why had he ended up back here again? Could this be a ghost wall? He refused to believe it, and kept running forward. But soon Ma Fei appeared in his classmate's sight again. The old man looked at Ma Fei with a sneer at the corner of his mouth, as if he had long expected this scene. We're done for. We're done for. Brother, you know, Daddy, you have to look out for me later. This is a freaking ghost wall. It's too scary. Yang Xiangdi clung tightly to Qiao Yu's left arm, as if only that could give him a trace of security. The old man looked at everyone and said with a smile, "Since you're here, make peace with it. There's no need to worry too much. I get it. Grandpa, you mean you want us to relax? Face this with confidence, right?" Class monitor Ma Fei quickly chimed in. "No, I mean since you're here, you might as well be buried here. Everyone. All right, I won't tease you little brats anymore. It's getting dark." The old man's expression suddenly turned serious. "I am the village chief of Nightmare Village, Wagon. There are 2 rules for living in Nightmare Village. I'll only say them once. If you can't remember them, don't blame me if you die." Everyone immediately listened with full concentration, and several of the female students even took out notebooks. "First, you may stay in any empty house you like, but you absolutely must not touch the black stone on the door. Second, you must return to the house before dark, and you must keep the doors and windows shut tight. Even if Ultramantiga shows up, you still must not open the door." Village Chief Wogan straightened his back, his sharp gaze sweeping over every person. "Did you all hear that clearly? Village Chief, why can't we go out after dark?" Wogan raised his head, revealing an extremely eerie smile. "Because when night falls on Nightmare Village, another group of people will appear. The sun was setting in the west, and it would be dark very soon." Village Chief Wogan began shaking a bell all around, telling everyone to hide inside the houses. Everyone from Class 4, Grade 4 decided to follow the village chief's advice and first find a house to hide in. They split into 4 groups, with 11 people in each group. Yang Xiangdi, Zhao Ziyue, the class beauties Wu Yu, Zhong Tianyu, the male student who had wanted to quit at first, along with another 6 classmates, were assigned to the same house as Qiao Yu. As for Ma Fei, he was in the house next door to them. As soon as they entered, they saw the black stone affixed to the doorframe, with a winding, mysterious symbol on it. Following the village chief's instructions, they quickly shut the doors and windows. Night slowly fell, and the entire Nightmare Village was shrouded in darkness. From time to time, eerie noises came from Nightmare Village at night, along with the sound of some animal chewing. It was enough to make one's hair stand on end. Qiao Yu and the other 11 all sat in the brightly lit hall on the 3rd floor, and in such a terrifying environment, they had no desire to sleep at all. Blushing, Zhao Ziyue moved close to Qiao Yu. Her skin was fair and tender, her cheeks rosy, and her pair of standard almond eyes were like pools of spring water. Putting on a shy look, she said, "Qiao Yu, if there's danger later, remember to protect me, okay? My class is healer, what people usually call a support. I can restore lots and lots of HP for you." Zhao Ziyue narrowed her eyes slightly, her white teeth gently biting her rosy lips. Any man who saw her like this would be unable to stop his heart from racing. But Qiao Yu had already seen through everything. He shot Zhao Ziyue a cold glance. "Trying to trick me into being your free simp? No way." Seeing Qiao Yu's gaze fall on her, Zhao Ziyue straightened her back even more, thrusting out her breasts as big as watermelons. "Zhao Ziyue, have you no shame? There are so many classmates watching right here." The class beauties Wu Yu at the side couldn't help but curse. She had the delicate look of a girl from a modest family, like a dainty lowly, and her face was far prettier than Zhao Ziyue's. However, Zhao Ziyue had the advantage of a curvy and sexy figure. It could only be said that each girl had her own charms. So what if I do? Flat chest. Zhao Ziyue cast a disdainful glance at Zui Yu's chest, making Zui Yu's pretty face flush red with anger. Although she had a delicate face, her figure was completely flat, and that had always been her sore spot. You think looking like a cow is pretty? It's still better than some people having nothing at all. Yours just came from being fat. Just as the 2 girls were arguing without end, no one noticed that Zhong Tianyu, who was sitting by the window, was suddenly and slowly moving closer to it. Because beside the window, he saw his grandmother. His grandmother stood outside the window, wearing the kind smile, just as Zhong Tianyu remembered. "Ah you, Grandma's good grandson, Grandma is so cold. It's so scary out here. Can you open the window and let Grandma hold you, please?" Grandma stretched out a wrinkled hand and trembled as she stroked the glass window. "Grandma, I missed you so much." Zhong Tianyu immediately lost control. He was already extremely terrified of Nightmare Village, and now that he saw a family member, he became even more agitated. Zhong Tianyu reached out, ready to open the window and give his grandma a hug. His eyes were vacant, as if he had been bewitched by something. "Stop! That thing outside the window is not your grandma." Qiao Yu finally noticed what was happening with Zhong Tianyu and hurriedly shouted, "Damn it, this is the 3rd floor. How could a normal old lady possibly appear outside a 3rd floor window? A flying old lady? but it was already too late. Zhong Tianyu abruptly lifted the window, and the kindly-looking grandma outside suddenly grew jet-black claws on her hands. The flesh on her face also began to churn and peel away. In the next second, Zhong Tianyu's grandma turned into a hideous and terrifying nightmare. It opened its mouth full of sharp teeth at him. A horrible stench swept into the room, smelling like heating up shit that had fermented for 10 days in a microwave. Zhong Tianyu only took one whiff and nearly vomited up yesterday's stinky tofu fried durian. The nightmare charged straight into the room, extending its claws toward Zhong Tianyu's throat. Sand entanglement. At the critical moment, Yang Xiangdi pulled out his staff and let out an angry roar. This was an F-rank skill he had obtained while taking on the newbie quest. Countless grains of sand turned into whips and trapped the nightmare. Zhong Tianyu, having narrowly escaped death, immediately scrambled away in panic. However, the sand entanglement only lasted 1 second before the nightmare broke free. The nightmare twisted and lunged at a classmate. Crunch. Accompanied by a teeth-grinding sound, the nightmare bit down on that classmate's arm. Yang Xiangdi had just finished casting his skill and had no time to stop it again. Blood began to splatter through the gaps between the nightmare's sharp teeth, and the classmate let out a terrified scream, clutching the wound as he staggered backward. The nightmare tore off a chunk of flesh from him and began chewing it with relish. The horrifying sound of chewing immediately echoed through the hall. Faced with such a bloody and terrifying scene, fear seized everyone's hearts. At this moment, the information of that nightmare also appeared before everyone's eyes. Common mob, nightmare level, LV3 HP, 50/50th strength, 25 defense, 5 agility, 25 skill, bewitchment. Looking at the nightmare's stats, Xiao Yu felt a sharp ache in his teeth. This nightmare was obviously just a minor mob in Nightmare Village. In an S-rank newbie dungeon, were even the minor mobs this overpowered? After taking a bite of flesh, the nightmare licked its pitch-black lips and, still unsatisfied, turned its gaze toward Yang Xiangdi. It liked eating fat meat. Whoosh. The nightmare pounced toward Yang Xiangdi, moving so fast it left afterimages. Holy shit. Don't come over here. If you eat such fatty meat, you'll get high blood pressure, high blood sugar, and high cholesterol. Yang Xiangdi looked at the nightmare's mouth full of sharp teeth and retreated repeatedly in fright. If it bit him once, even a doctor wouldn't know how to stitch it up. At the critical moment, a petite figure carrying a huge shield wildly disproportionate to her body appeared in front of the tall, fat Yang Xiangdi. Crack. The nightmare bit down on the shield, leaving 2 deep rows of teeth marks, and a bright red -10 rose above Zhuayu's head. Yang Xiangdi, run. Zhao Ziyue, heal me. Xiao Yu, summon the undead to hold this nightmare back. At the critical moment, Zhuayu displayed strong leadership and began directing the team in an orderly manner. Understood. Xiao Yu and the other 2 answered in unison. Yang Xiangdi immediately widened the distance between himself and the nightmare. Massive healing incoming. Zhao Ziyue cast a skill, and Zhuayu's health bar instantly filled back up. Zhuayu immediately let out a sigh of relief and smiled. As long as everyone worked well together, dealing with this nightmare would not be difficult. Now all they lacked was Xiao Yu's undead creature. Zhuayu turned her head to look over, and her smile instantly froze on her face. She saw Xiao Yu gripping a staff and charging forward like a street thug rushing into a group brawl. Isn't this guy a necromancer? Xiao Yu, get back here. If the nightmare gets close to you, you'll die? Xiao Yu. Zhuayu instantly panicked. This monster's damage was so high that even she, a tank, could barely withstand it. So a necromancer like Xiao Yu would definitely be instantly killed. Bro, you, get back here. That's not how a staff is supposed to be used. Yang Xiangdi shouted. The hearts of the other students clenched as well. Could Xiao Yu, who had a hidden class, really be the first to die young? No matter what they thought, it was too late to stop him now. The distance between Xiao Yu and the nightmare was already so close they were practically about to kiss. Some of the female students couldn't bear to watch the bloody scene of Xiao Yu being bitten to death by the nightmare and had already covered their eyes. Hiya! Xiao Yu brought his staff down on the nightmare's head, and before everyone's horrified eyes, a bright red -50 appeared above the nightmare's head. This nightmare, which had brought endless fear to everyone, turned to ashes just like that. Zhuayu, Yang Xiangdi, Zhao Ziyue, other students. Is this how necromancers all fight their enemies? A nightmare with 50 health points was just instantly killed like that? Could Xiao Yu be using cheats or something? Xiao Yu turned his head to look at Zhuayu. Zhuayu, were you calling me just now? It's nothing. I just wanted to ask if you'd eaten. Zhuayu looked completely stunned. She wondered if she was hallucinating, She had actually seen a necromancer go into melee combat with someone. Xiao Yu walked over to inspect the place where the nightmare had died. To his surprise, the slain nightmare had not turned into a soul core, but instead into a black stone. And on the stone was the same winding, mysterious symbol. Xiao Yu picked up the stone, went to the first floor for a quick comparison, and discovered that the Black Stone village chief Wogan had forbidden them to remove was exactly the same as the black stone dropped after the nightmare monster died. Xiao Yu had a vague feeling that this black stone must be connected to the core secret of Nightmare Village. And he also had one more question. Why hadn't killing a nightmare in melee granted him any free attribute points? Could it be? Xiao Yu, did you discover something? When Zuiyu saw Xiao Yu hurrying down from the third floor, she was afraid something might have happened to him and quickly followed him down. It's nothing, maybe I'm overthinking it. Xiao Yu tucked the black stone into his pocket, shook his head, and said, nothing happened for the rest of the night, and the morning sunlight of the next day tore through the long night curtain. The classmates who had shared a room with Xiao Yu, after what they had gone through last night, felt as if they had been given a new life when they walked out and saw the sunlight again. My God, last night was really thanks to Zuiyu and Xiao Yu. That was so close. We almost lost our lives. Yeah. Just thinking about that nightmare now still makes my heart tremble with fear. Say no more. I think sticking close to Xiao Yu is definitely the right move. He's so strong. He took care of that nightmare in one hit. That's not all. Earlier, Zuiyu directly blocked the nightmare's attack with her shield. Zuiyu is really impressive too. Ma Fei, who had just walked out of the room next door, twitched his ears slightly, and the discussion among several classmates immediately reached his ears. After eavesdropping for a while, he finally figured out what had happened in the house next door last night and spoke up at once. Humph. If I had been there, I definitely wouldn't have let Zuiyu, a girl, go up and tank the damage. Hiding behind a woman is not what a real man does. A mere nightmare can be destroyed with a single sword strike. After saying that, Ma Fei pulled out the beginner longsword issued by the inner world and flourished it handsomely. Just then, Xiao Yu and the others also walked out of the house and looked at Ma Fei, who was striking a pose, in surprise. Class monitor, you're doing morning practice this early? You're really hardworking. Yang Xiangdi's chubby face was full of admiration, and Xiao Yu also nodded secretly. No wonder he's the class monitor. This level of diligence alone surpasses many people. Ahem, I'm just practicing casually. Ma Fei coughed awkwardly twice, put away his sword, and quickly walked up to Zuiyu. Zuiyu, stay in the same room with me tonight. I absolutely won't let you go tank the damage. After saying that, Ma Fei even shot Xiao Yu a provocative glance. Zuiyu looked puzzled when she heard this. But my class is heavy tank. If I don't tank, are you going to do it? Ma Fei's expression instantly froze, and he hurriedly explained. No, I mean I can deal with the nightmare by myself. There would be no need for you to step in at all. In Ma Fei's view, if even Xiao Yu, a mage, could defeat a nightmare in hand-to-hand combat, then for him, a sword cultivator, taking one down would be effortless. Ma Fei. Zuiyu's expression turned serious. That way of thinking is wrong. Teacher Shui said that we need to unite and help each other. The strength of an individual definitely can't compare to the strength of a group. You can't always be thinking about going solo. You should learn more from Xiao Yu. Ma Fei was so lectured that his face darkened. Then when he turned and saw Xiao Yu's calm expression, he couldn't help but feel extremely stifled. Just as he was about to say something else to salvage his image, Village Chief Wagon suddenly rushed over mightily with a large group of villagers. The villagers were holding dung forks, hoes, machetes, and other weapons. One look was enough to tell they had come with ill intent. Wagon, walking at the very front, was even more full of killing intent. Seize them all for me. Later, put this whole group on the stake and use flames to wash away their sins. Anyone who dares resist will be executed on the spot. Chapter 9: The Unique Cultivation Method of Sword Cultivators. As village chief, Wagon gave the order. Countless simple villagers revealed fierce expressions and raised their farm tools as weapons, preparing to capture Xiao Yu and the others. Xiao Yu silently counted the number of villagers and found that there were only slightly more of them than there were people in his class, and the villagers were all about the same age. Wait, Village Chief Wagon, could there be some misunderstanding? Ma Fei was the first to step forward. A misunderstanding? Heh. Wagon's face was shrouded in gloom as he said with a cold laugh. Don't you know what you've done last night? Last night? You mean the matter of us killing a nightmare? After thinking it over, Ma Fei concluded that the only unexpected event last night was that Xiao Yu's group had killed a nightmare in that room. Shut up. That was the guardian spirit of our nightmare village. Wagan was so agitated that spit flew everywhere. It must be because you broke the rules of Nightmare Village last night that the guardian spirit punished you. And what about you? You actually killed a guardian spirit. You deserve to die, deserve to die. Wogan stared at them with bloodshot eyes, as if he had an irreconcilable hatred toward them. After hearing Wogan's words, the students in the class looked at Zhong Tianyu with a hint of blame in their eyes. If Zhong Tianyu hadn't opened the window last night, the nightmare would never have rushed into the room, nor would it have been killed by Xiao Yu and the others. At this moment, Ma Fei no longer had the energy to oppose Xiao Yu. He couldn't just stand by and watch his classmates and the villagers of Nightmare Village start fighting. So he hurriedly asked, "Village Chief, if a guardian spirit is accidentally killed, is there any way to remedy it?" Village Chief Wogan let out a cold laugh. Of course there is. That is, when night falls, the person who angered the guardian spirit must stay outside the house. Can you do that? Ma Fei's expression kept changing. No one knew exactly how many nightmare monsters there were in Nightmare Village, and there might even be more dangers hidden in the night. If one had to stay outside the house when night fell, wouldn't that be sending someone to their death? Just as Ma Fei was hesitating, Xiao Yu's voice rang out from behind him. "I killed the guardian spirit nightmare. I'll stay here and wait for night to fall." Ma Fei rushed over and covered Xiao Yu's mouth. "Are you crazy? If you want to show off, this isn't how you do it. You're courting death." Ma Fei turned his head and said to the village chief, "Village Chief, I'm sorry, my classmate here isn't very bright. Please don't take him seriously." "Don't worry, class monitor, I'm not crazy. There are some things I want to verify," Xiao Yu said softly. "Maybe it can help us leave this instance," Xiao Yu said in a low voice. As for the core secret of Nightmare Village, Xiao Yu had already guessed most of it, but he had always acted cautiously, so he still needed to verify one thing. Good. You've got guts. Hong Jiao, Hong Mao, lock this kid up." At Wogan's command, two other old men with stocky, muscular builds used thick iron chains to lock Xiao Yu's legs together with a stone pillar. Only after seeing someone accept punishment did the villagers finally leave in satisfaction. As soon as Wogan and the others left, Ma Fei hurriedly asked, "Xiao Yu, what did you mean when you said it might help us leave this instance? Have you found the core secret of Nightmare Village?" "Most likely." Xiao Yu nodded. Ma Fei immediately felt somewhat discouraged. He had slept through the night and done nothing, while Xiao Yu had not only killed a nightmare, but had already come into contact with the core secret. "No way. I refuse to believe I'm inferior to Xiao Yu." "Xiao Yu, can you tell us your guess?" Zui Yu asked. "Have you ever thought that everything we're experiencing right now is virtual?" Xiao Yu said. "Virtual." The few of them exchanged puzzled glances, and Yang Shangdi couldn't help but say, "But we're already inside the virtual inner world right now." Black lines appeared across Xiao Yu's face. "What I mean is, we're in a virtual world within a virtual world. In other words, a dream within a dream. Something like being in a hallucination." "You mean, the secret of Nightmare Village is that all of this is fake?" Zui Yu asked. Xiao Yu nodded and looked toward the rising morning sun. "This is only my guess. We'll have to wait until tonight to know for sure." Smack! Zui Yu suddenly slapped Zhao Ziyue's boobs, and at once a soft ripple surged through them, making Xiao Yu and the other two almost spray nosebleeds. "Flat chest, what are you doing? That hurts, you know." Zhao Ziyue angrily tried to slap her back, only to realize that Zui Yu didn't have any, so she could only curse out loud. "It hurts." Zui Yu revealed a thoughtful expression. "But if you're in an illusion, it shouldn't hurt." Xiao Yu awkwardly rubbed his nose. Zui Yu, I was only saying it's similar. We're in the inner world right now, so we can't judge it by real-life experience." "Oh, so that's how it is." Zui Yu nodded and walked away as if nothing had happened. "Flat chest, you stop right there." The more Zhao Ziyue thought about it, the angrier she got. "If you weren't going to slap yourself, why did you slap me? What's wrong with a milk cow getting slapped?" "Milk cow my ass." "Flat chest. Big milk cow." "Flat chest. Big milk cow." The night erased the last streak of the setting sun, and the darkness fell slowly like the velvet curtain in a theater. The moonlight flowed slowly over Xiao Yu like quicksilver. He opened his eyes and kept a vigilant watch on his surroundings. "It's here." Xiao Yu turned his head toward a patch of deep darkness, and an ugly nightmare crawled out from there. It opened its foul-smelling maw toward Xiao Yu. Just as Xiao Yu was about to make a move, a figure carrying a long sword descended before him with graceful bearing, like an immortal exiled beneath the moon. Under the cover of moonlight, Ma Fei revealed half of a stern side profile. At that moment, Zui Yu and the other two also arrived in time. Sand entanglement. After chanting, Yang Xiangdi directly used a skill to restrain the nightmare. Ma Fei, hurry up and do it. I can only hold that nightmare for 1 second, Yang Xiangdi urged. But Ma Fei did not move an inch, and even flicked his flashy bangs. Don't worry. Ma Fei, will definitely protect all of you. As a true sword cultivator, with 1 man and 1 sword, I can cut down all enemies under heaven. Ma Fei spouted an extremely puny line, and actually waited until the nightmare broke free before going up to meet it. But the moment they clashed, Ma Fei realized something was wrong. Duong. The nightmare slammed headfirst into him. Ma Fei raised his sword to block, but he had underestimated the nightmare's strength. From that single hit, Ma Fei was forced back again and again. The powerful impact making his sword tremble non-stop, and the long sword in his hand nearly flew out of his grasp. Ma Fei was completely dumbfounded. Who am I? Where am I? What am I doing? Xiao, you really beat one of these things to death last night. Seeing Ma Fei lose the upper hand on the very first move, Yang Xiangdi asked Xiao Yu with a strange expression. Xiao Yu, do you think this Ma Fei has some kind of chinibyu? I helped him control the nightmare, and he didn't want it, insisting on charging in himself, and the key point is he couldn't even win by charging in. It's really absurd. Xiao Yu. Maybe this is the unique cultivation method of sword cultivators? Chapter 10. If I, Xiao Yu, don't use cheats, it won't work. If Xiao Yu can do it, then I can too. Still unconvinced, Ma Fei gripped his beginner longsword and fought the nightmare once again. Armor-breaking sword chi, Ma Fei shouted, and a sharp sword aura slashed out, cutting a bright red -10 above the nightmare's head. But this also enraged the nightmare, and it rushed up with a flurry of attacks, beating Ma Fei back step by step. Ma Fei clenched his teeth tightly and said nothing. By the way, why did all of you come out? Didn't I tell you to hide inside the house and wait for me? Xiao Yu asked Zui Yu and the others. We were worried you'd be in danger out here by yourself, so we came out to help you. This way we can also look out for each other. After speaking, Zui Yu turned her gaze to the iron chain around Xiao Yu's feet. By the way, how are you supposed to move around with that thing shackling you? Why not have Ma Fei try and see if he can cut it open with his sword? No need. As soon as the words fell, under the astonished gazes of Zui Yu and the others, Xiao Yu grabbed the iron chain with both hands and yanked, and the thigh-thick chain snapped right away. See, doesn't that do it? Yang Xiangdi fell silent for a moment, then looked at Xiao Yu gloomily. Brother Yu, tell me honestly, you really didn't use cheats? No, Xiao Yu did not use cheats. Xiao Yu looked resolute. He had simply put all his attribute points into strength. How could that be called cheating? Ma Fei suddenly let out a scream from the side. His arm had been grazed by the nightmare's claw, and blood immediately poured out. Ma Fei's health bar instantly dropped by half. Ma Fei, we're here to help you. Zui Yu and the others were just about to make a move, and Zhao Ziyue already had her skill ready in hand, when Ma Fei raised a hand to stop them. No need. I can handle it. True powerhouses are tempered through battle. Scars are a man's medals. As if thinking of something, Yang Xiangdi hurriedly said, Master Ma, don't trade blows with it. Try attacking its head. The nightmare's weak point is its head. The moment Zui Yu heard that, she immediately understood. Right. Ma Fei, Yang Xiangdi is right. Yesterday, Xiao Yu just struck the nightmare's head with his staff, and it died. Xiao Yu. So that's how it is. Ma Fei's eyes lit up, and he stared intensely at the nightmare's crown. Ma Fei, actually the nightmare's weak point isn't its head. Xiao Yu felt it was still necessary to explain it to Ma Fei. After all, the only reason he could kill a nightmare with one hit of his staff was because his strength was absurdly high. Xiao Yu, you're scared. Xiao Yu. Ma Fei revealed a confident smile, as if everything were under his control. You're afraid that I, Ma Fei, will surpass you. You need your teammates' help to deal with a nightmare, but I only need a single sword. Ma Fei's eyes burned with intense fighting spirit as he looked at the nightmare. Watch this next sword strike carefully. Why? Because this strike will be cool. Ma Fei gripped the sword with both hands and shouted, armor-breaking sword chi. Then in a flash, he thrust it precisely into the nightmare's crown. -10 looking at the red number floating above the nightmare's head, Ma Fei stared expressionlessly at the nightmare. But a bead of cold sweat had already trickled down his forehead. Brother Nightmare, what's going on with you? I hit your weak point, didn't I? Hurry up and let me one-shot you. A human-like look of confusion appeared on the nightmare's face, and then it immediately slapped Ma Fei with one claw. Ma Fei let out a scream and was sent flying, landing face-first in the dirt. If Zhao Ziyue hadn't promptly flooded him with a massive heal, Ma Fei would have dropped dead on the spot. Yang Xiangdi, are you sure the nightmare's weak point is its head? You're not messing with me, are you? Ma Fei, with a mouth full of dirt, started cursing at Yang Xiangdi the moment he got up. That can't be right. Xiao Yu attacked the nightmare's head, and it got one shot. Yang Xiangdi propped up his chubby little hand and pondered for a moment, then suddenly clapped his hands and jumped up. I get it. It's because you didn't use a staff. You have to use a staff to hit the nightmare's head to trigger the instant kill. Here, borrow my staff. Xiao Yu. So none of you were listening to what I said, huh? The nightmare's weak point isn't its head, hey. Fine, I'll trust you one more time. Ma Fei reluctantly took the staff Yang Xiangdi handed over. Class monitor, maybe we should help you after all. Zui Yu asked. No need. A sword cultivator's best helper is his sword. But what you're holding right now is Yang Xiangdi's staff. Ma Fei. Heh. Hee. Having no sword in hand is better than having a sword. This is an even higher realm of sword cultivation. You wouldn't understand. Watch closely. I'm going to instantly kill this nightmare right now. I just didn't get the hang of it earlier. Watch me try again. Ma Fei grabbed the staff and charged straight at the nightmare. Xiao Yu had already covered his forehead and shook his head helplessly. He could already guess how things would end for Ma Fei. Sure enough, when Ma Fei seized the opportunity and brought the staff down on the nightmare's head, the damage this time was only 5 points. It wasn't even as good as his own sword. Bang! Ma Fei let out a miserable scream and was sent flying by the nightmare once again. Zhao Ziyue hurriedly healed him again. Yang Xiangdi, UTM set me up. Ma Fei cursed angrily. His white robe had already been torn to shreds under the nightmare's attack, hanging off him like strips of cloth, making him look just like a beggar. That's impossible. Yang Xiangdi propped up his hand and fell into thought. I get it. Since it's not a problem with the head, and it's not a problem with the staff, then there's only one possibility left. What? Ma Fei asked. Yang Xiangdi gave him a gloomy look. It's a problem with the person. You're not as good as Xiao Yu. The moment Ma Fei heard that, he exploded on the spot, his eyes turning red, and he stretched out a trembling finger to point at Xiao Yu. I'm not as good as him. Me, a sword cultivator, am worse at grinding mobs than him. A necromancer? The facts are right here. If we rule out the other possibilities, the only explanation is that Xiao Yu is stronger than you. Yang Xiangdi spread his hands. Bullshit. There's no way I'm worse than Xiao Yu. Just watch me. Ma Fei picked up his long sword again and charged at the nightmare. He felt as if his self-esteem had been wounded. He was worse than Xiao Yu. He was worse than Xiao Yu. Impossible. Ma Fei, get back here. With your HP, if you take one more hit, you'll definitely die. Zhao Ziyue instantly grew anxious. Ma Fei only had 1/10 of his HP left. And in this state, he'd definitely be instantly killed. By then, she wouldn't even have time to heal him. Ma Fei could no longer listen to anyone else's advice. Only one thought remained in his heart. I have to kill this nightmare. I have to prove that I, Ma Fei, am no worse than Xiao Yu. Armor-breaking sword chi. Flash. Ma Fei passed straight through the nightmare's body. His body still maintaining the posture of the slash. 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds. Majestic sword chi burst out from inside the nightmare's body, and a bright red -25 appeared above the nightmare's head. Instant kill. Ma Fei really did instantly kill a nightmare with a single sword strike. Watching the nightmare slowly turn into a black stone, Yang Xiangdi and the others were astonished beyond words. Zhao Ziyue's mouth was so wide open that it could fit an egg. Although Ma Fei was a sword cultivator, he had only cleared a novice quest, and his level was only LV3. A level 3 sword cultivator, no matter how absurd his attack power was, should only have about 20 points, right? How did he deal 25 points of damage? Lifespan swordsmanship? Ma Fei, how did you do it? That nightmare still had half a bar of HP left, and you just instantly killed it? Zhao Ziyue couldn't help asking. Nothing special, it's just a matter of practice. Ma Fei sheathed his sword with a calm expression. In reality, Ma Fei himself was completely dumbfounded, and even now, thinking back on it gave him a trace of lingering fear. His self-esteem had simply taken a hit just now, and in a hot-headed moment, he rushed up. Who would have thought I really killed the nightmare with one slash? How would I know how I did it? Xiao Yu, however, wasn't surprised at all. If even he, a mage, could have a skill that adds extra attack power, then isn't it even more reasonable for Ma Fei, a sword cultivator, to be able to increase attack power? Don't worry, with me, sword god Ma Fei, here, no matter how many nightmares come, there's nothing to worry about. Ma Fei strapped the long sword behind his back and slightly turned his head, letting the breeze brush his side-swept bangs. Under the moonlit night, he really did look somewhat like a sword saint beneath the moon. Ma Fei, do you want to take a look behind you first? Xiao Yu asked. Humph, what's there to look at? If there is an enemy, I shall cut it down with a single sword strike. Ma Fei sounded disdainful, but his eyes still obediently glanced back. Holy shit. Ma Fei jumped up in fright. 5 or 6 nightmares were staring at them menacingly from across the way. He had nearly lost even against one nightmare. If there were 5 or 6, wouldn't they tear him limb from limb on the spot? Let's go inside. No need to fight these nightmares. I think I know how to clear this. Xiao Yu picked up the black stone from the ground and revealed a confident smile. All right, you all go in first. I'll hold them off. Zui Yu, who was only a little over 1.5 meters tall, pulled out a giant shield over 2 meters high and stood in front of everyone. All right, the group retreated into the house in an orderly manner, with Yang Xiangdi throwing out a sand restraint to immobilize the nightmares. Zui Yu also successfully made it back inside. After they shut the door, the nightmares outside seemed to be afraid of something and did not dare come in. Xiao Yu, what's the method you mentioned for clearing this? Zui Yu asked curiously. You'll know tomorrow. Xiao Yu smiled mysteriously. Then is there anything we need to help with? Probably not. No, wait. Come here, all of you. Xiao Yu gathered Ma Fei and the others together and began discussing in a low voice. Early the next morning, village chief Wagan once again came charging over with a large group of villagers. They bared their fangs and brandished their claws, insisting on killing all these outsiders like Xiao Yu. The 44 students of Class 4, Grade 4, and the 50 villagers of Nightmare Village were at each other's throats for a moment, as if they might start fighting outright at the slightest disagreement. Village Chief Wagan was the angriest of all. You despicable outsiders. I already gave you a chance to atone yesterday, but not only did you fail to repent, you even went further and killed another guardian spirit. You all deserve to go to hell. To hell. The moment Yang Xiangdi heard the words "go to hell," his eyes lit up, and he hurriedly shouted loudly. Type 1, and after going to hell you'll get 10 dark-skinned, sharp-fanged, super-hot succubi. 11. 111, 111, 1111. I want 100. Once succubi came up, everyone was suddenly wide awake. Going to hell is fine, but no succubi is not. Huh, what a bunch of horny creeps. Zhao Ziyu spat secretly. Exactly, what use is a good figure? Zui Yu nodded in strong agreement. Humph, no matter what you say today, you're all going to die. Despicable outsiders. Protect our nightmare village. Wagan raised his machete and was about to charge over when Xiao Yu hurriedly stepped in front of everyone. Hold on. Village Chief Wagan, are you sure you really are villagers of Nightmare Village? Xiao Yu stared into Wagan's eyes as he spoke. Nonsense. Our families have lived in Nightmare Village for generations. Don't think about stalling for time. You're dead for sure. Wagan said. I'm not stalling for time. At this point, it's time to reveal the truth of Nightmare Village. What do you mean by that? Wagan barked harshly. Xiao Yu pushed up glasses that didn't exist and extended a hand as he said, the cunning frog keeps touching your belly. There is only one truth. You, and you. Xiao Yu pointed at several villagers of Nightmare Village. None of the people in this village are actually native residents of Nightmare Village at all. You 50 people are that class that was previously wiped out in the Nightmare Village dungeon. Everything here is fake. Everything we're seeing and encountering right now is fake. This also explains why we can't leave the inner world. Because right now, we're inside a massive illusion. Xiao Yu was extremely confident in his deduction. Whether it's being unable to leave the inner world, or the fact that killing nightmares doesn't grant him free attribute points. All of this proves that he was right. As soon as he finished speaking, a long silence followed. Whether it was the villagers led by Wagan, or all the students of Class 4, Grade 4, they all found it a bit hard to accept this truth for a moment. Ha 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 ha. Wagan suddenly burst into loud laughter. I have to say, you're very good at making up stories. I almost believed you. To put it bluntly, you're just afraid of dying. That's why you want to use lies to deceive us. Everything you've said is just your story. There's no evidence at all. Heh, of course I have evidence. After Xiao Yu finished speaking, he pulled out a black stone from his pocket. The moment Village Chief Wagan saw the black stone, his expression changed drastically, and he said tremblingly, the Guardian Stone. You actually removed the Guardian Stone. You deserve to die? And it's not just him. Ma Fei, Zui Yu, Yang Xiangdi, and Zhao Ziyu each took out a pitch-black Guardian Stone as well. Wagan was already too frightened to speak. In his memory, the Guardian Stone was the supreme sacred object that protected them from being attacked at night. If anyone tampers with the Guardian Stone, that Lord will surely bring down divine punishment. This is no Guardian Stone at all. The entire illusion is formed by these black stones and the mysterious symbols on them. As long as the black stones are smashed, flaws will appear in this illusion. Brothers, do it. After Qiao Yu spoke, he threw a punch at the black stone, and Ma Fei and the others followed suit, striking the black stones in their hands together. The 5 black stones were instantly blasted into powder by them. Qiao Yu looked at Wagon and the others with complete confidence. He believed there was no way his deduction was wrong. Sure enough, as the black stones were shattered, the entire space of Nightmare Village began to shake violently. The village, originally beautiful and idyllic like a peach blossom paradise, slowly disappeared, turning into a dilapidated old mountain village littered with leftover food and broken traces everywhere. A familiar yet unfamiliar memory flooded into the minds of Wagon and the others. They remembered. They remembered everything. They were not villagers of Nightmare Village at all. They were students. They were the students entering the Nightmare Village instance for the first time. Ding! A player has already uncovered the core secret of Nightmare Village and successfully awakened the villagers of Nightmare Village. Mission successful. Rewards will be calculated according to each person's mission rating. After the mission was completed, a flash of light passed by, and Wagon and the other 50 villagers, along with the 39 students of Class 4, Grade 4, were all teleported away. Listening to the inner world's notification sound, Qiao Yu smiled in satisfaction. Sure enough, to clear this kind of high-difficulty instance, brute force alone isn't enough. You also have to rely on your own endless wisdom. However, after a while, Qiao Yu realized that he had not been teleported away. The same was true for Ma Fei and the other 3 who had crushed the black stones. Innerworld sis, I didn't get on the bus. I still didn't get on the bus. Yang Xiangdi shouted anxiously. At this moment, the Innerworld's notifications sounded again. Congratulations to the 5 players for destroying the Nightmare Black Stones and triggering the hidden mission, Steal the Heart of Nightmare. Mission difficulty, E rank. Qiao Yu.